And I think we're back for conversation number three between two beautiful and old friends, Dim and Kej. Welcome
Ugh.
back. And
Yeah.
for everyone listening, I'm sure Kej has many things to say. I'll quickly just say I very much enjoyed doing this on Friday. I don't know, I'm feeling very good and happy. This is, yeah. I hope everyone who has been listening has enjoyed the last couple of episodes and what we spoke about. And I have no doubt we'll have a very sweet discussion as well today. Kej, do you want to say something? And how are you? And how's
Oof.
everything?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. Honest truth, yeah, been a big week, man. As in, yeah, we've got to start catching up outside of this. I feel like the last 3 weeks, this has been our form of catching up. But yeah, man, big week. Actually, did a sneaky 1 hour nap before this, so just rolling straight into this. But yeah, man, jumping straight in, like it was actually you actually came up in conversation this morning, actually. So I thought it would just be natural just to like, yeah, I'll share with you what we spoke about, and I'm sure you have a lot to say.
Oh, bless, man, of course.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just to share a little bit about our week. So just yeah, with business and stuff, we just hired a couple of people. So some of them are interstate and things like that. So we kind of brought everyone into our like a Sydney office, and we just did a bit of like need to update our website, so photo shoot day and whatnot. But we also use that opportunity to kind of talk about our values, where we're going as a business, and all those kinds of things. And even with like the photo shoot, we try to keep it as natural because I think for us we don't want to posture. We want people to see who we really are. So we just try to have like a very normal day doing our normal things and just capture those moments. And, those things will come to light soon. Um,
That's
where
cool.
you, yeah, where you came into the picture, and I'm happy to dive into like, we came up with like 5 values of what we want to stand for internally and externally for like our clients as well and our stakeholders and whoever else we work with. So happy to go into all 5 of them. They may need a bit of tweaking, and I'm happy to even get your like almost a live feedback from you in terms of how we can word this and improve it or whatever it may be, because this is your domain. Um, but where you dropped in specifically was one of the values that we want to do is like emotional mastery was one of the values. Don't know if that's like the language we want to use, but ultimately, like, we work in a very high pressure environment. We're dealing with clients, we're dealing with like properties, deals fall over. Yeah, dealing with multiple stakeholders can be high pressure. We can get emotional. We can do things that get disappointed. We can feel stressed and all those other things that come with the nature of the job.
Yeah.
But you know, we've got to kind of just like level-headed, see things for what they are. We can't let our clients feel that. Like just because we're feeling that way, we don't want them to feel that way. We want to be calm and make sound decisions. And yeah, I think that's just very, very important, right? Not only for our clients, but also for amongst each other as a team, even for ourselves. And that so obviously it's a big part. Personally, it was important to me. That's why I kind of suggested it because I guess it forms a big part of my life.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, dude, obviously I just threw a few things out there.
Appreciate it, bro.
So
Can I ask a few questions before you? Oh, so you want to say something else?
oh, sorry, and I guess sorry, I forgot to bring
Yeah.
the main thing, right? Where you came into the conversations. That's where I start from. So yeah, so this morning when we're as a team, we're kind of just like we actually had a session this morning in the calendar, and it was called Chaos and Order, right?
Oh,
That was the
that's
name of the meeting, and it's just because yeah, first the went from being a solo business from my business partner Emmanuel, then I came in and operated from a place of chaos as one person, and that's okay because it works. Then 2 people still a bit of chaos, but it works. But now as the team's growing without structure and order, without a bit of order, things will obviously fall apart. And we've kind of talked about the pros and cons of chaos and order. That led into conversations about duality and a bunch of other things as it did. And then it kind of just led into some of the work that I've been doing with you and like how it might be beneficial for, if we're going to make this a really important value of ours, then might be worthwhile having someone like yourself or thing come in and speak to the team on a semi-regular basis and almost talk about real life situations and how to apply some of these
so
principles.
cool.
Yeah, man. But one potential risk downside, or not risk downside, maybe the wrong language, but so the team is now heavily female, right? We've been outnumbered, right? So a
Cute, cute.
4-to-2 ratio, right? For female to male. So obviously you're a men's coach. Um, the principles obviously transfer. to both. So also, yeah, curious how you feel about it, as well.
Cute, man. Well, look, I think you know both of my staff members are female, right?
Mm. Mm.
So yeah, even though yeah, but regardless, man, can I ask a few questions or say a few things or
Yeah, of course.
bro, firstly, I think for everyone's context, what are the five? I think you said there was five values in total, right? And I'd love to know them for my own context too.
Yeah, okay,
Are these,
cool.
and also, are these internal company values, or are these company values to manage, or are these values that you want the clients to have, or like where do they
Yeah.
fit in? Yeah.
Yeah, I think both internal and external. Like I think it's like how we want to operate internally with each other and how we want what our clients want to feel. Being fully transparent, this isn't finals like our first draft. So
Yeah.
yeah, this
Yeah.
yeah. So and the everyone yeah, cool. I'd start with the first one. So pretty much the first one revolves around the idea of ultimately integrity, but the value, or we actually trying to figure out once again a different word rather than values.
Mm.
We've landed on code, but might be something else, right? So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, but one is our word is our bond, right?
Mm.
Was the first one. So like yeah,
That's such
so
a good one. That's so good. Yeah.
yeah, I tell you the one of the everyone loved it, but because once again we're a female heavy team now, right?
Yeah.
One of the feedback it sounds very masculine,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, Even if should I just go through the values or should I get your feedback on that statement that I just
Why don't you give us the high level and then we can definitely dive deeper.
Yeah, cool.
That's
So yeah, our word is our bonds. I've just got some notes on the side, so I'll keep looking here. But yeah, pretty much all the basic things of intake. Yeah, and the next one is just the extreme ownership, right? Very easy in our role. Like we're dealing with a lot of stakeholders, brokers, financial planners, other people that get involved in the thing, and very easy to blame them for things going wrong. But ultimately, the buck stops with us. So just owning every single part of it, even when it doesn't even feel like it's our fault. And even in the last week, I've been caught doing this as well. Oh man, it's their fault. But in the end of the day, it's because of them. Oh, why did they say that to the client? But in the end of the day, like even if it's not my fault, it's my fault. You know what I mean? And owning it, and hence, and obviously this comes from Jocko Willink, and he's had it out there. Once again, like seems like very masculine language, so we'll keep coming back to it. That's a consistent consistent
Yeah.
theme.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
Yeah.
um, yeah, emotional mastery, and once again, once we talk through what that meant, and we kind of touched on it, like that one, everyone loved. Everyone loved it when we talked about specific examples and all those kinds of things. Um, then we had number four was scale the systems, protect the connection.
Wow, that's lovely.
That was probably the second favorite of the group after emotional mastery.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, obviously with all the AI and automations and thing, and with everyone going in that direction, if anything, there's going to be, yeah, that personal connection. The importance of that is going to become even more important, and that's where the magic lives. So
Mm.
it's, yeah, obviously it speaks for itself. Leverage the systems, but yeah, the connection is what it is. And the third one, sorry, last one, fifth one, is just quiet confidence. So
Wow.
not it's yeah, pretty much just comes down to yeah, just let our work do the talking, let our action do the talking. A lot of people we see out there, especially in our industry, content for the sake of content going, oh, my team is 23 members now and blah blah blah, and we've done this and look at me. And a lot of founders who, once again, when they started were probably great buyers agents or great property professionals, but as they've grown, it's like it's become about them, and they're on TV, on the news, blah blah blah, and they've forgotten about what matters. And so it's just that's where that word quiet confidence comes from.
That's amazing, bro. Bro, I have plenty of thoughts on this, and I think that for anyone listening, I think this will be a really, really, really wonderful and insightful, and they'll learn a lot, like for sure, like really valuable things by listening to this chat today. So
Mm,
thank you so much, my bro, for like bringing this to the table, bro. Because this we could chat about so many different things here. Can
mm.
I ask, is there anything specifically you want to ask about this
Uh,
list of five,
no,
or
not really. I'm happy for you to take this where you want to take it. Ultimately, like these are very minor details because ultimately we know what it means to us internally. But I
Yeah,
guess when it comes to the language, that whole thing about masculine versus feminine, because a couple of the points, sounds very masculine from the first two,
yeah.
which I wouldn't have even thought of, unless we had female members in the team to kind of raise that. And then really outside of that, yeah, keen for you to take it wherever you want to take it.
That's cool, man. I'll say a couple of points then. I'll start high level and then we can go deeper. I think that might be the best. Um, Point number one, um, because when we zoom out, values and company values fit into what kind of company do we want to be and what is this company trying to achieve, right? That's point number one, which I can get into. Point
Mm,
number two is true spirituality is integration,
mm,
right? It's bringing together masculine and feminine together. Basically, what I'm saying there, long story short, is there's nothing wrong with having obviously masculine values and more feminine values. There's nothing wrong with it
mm,
actually, because true spirituality is oneness, and
mm,
oneness is integration. It's bringing together, and it's actually that's the strength. Some and companies will go from one to many and many to one, and they'll fluctuate and flex and flow. And what that means specifically is that sometimes there will be a time where the company needs to be more patriarchal, and then there's going to be some times where the company needs to be more matriarchal. So
mm,
matriarchal means more of a flat structure, and patriarchal means more of a top-down structure. And
mm,
it's a time and a place. It's a time and a place, and it's an objective. So it's like it's about going to the macro level of like, what are we trying to achieve here? And also, what do we need given the circumstances of what the fuck's going on around us?
mm,
So what even what I just said there, what are we trying to achieve? That is the outcome. That's very masculine,
mm,
right? But then also calibration to what the fuck's going on right now and our current situation. That's the feminine side. It's sensitive. It's understanding the situation.
mm,
So that's why like that's why I would say like everything is contextual, which I'm not saying something presumably that you haven't already thought of, but maybe at the very least for the benefit of people listening, this might help. But like, it's it's very it's based on, I would say, the objective and the situation. So from an objective perspective, my bro, um, what I would say is like the three types of company which you may have heard. You may have heard of customer-centric before,
mm,
right? And then the other, or customer or client-centric companies.
mm.
And then you would have heard of the opposite, which is company-centric, right? Do you
Yeah.
know what the third one is by any chance, my bro?
No, I was trying to think of it while you were talking, and there's
Yeah.
no idea.
Because if you think about it like a pendulum swing, on one side of the pendulum swing is something that is uh, customer-centric,
Mm,
right? Now, on the other side of that pendulum swing is something that is company-centric, right? But
mm,
then there's an integrated point above, and it's not to say that one's better than the other or whatever. It's
mm,
honestly a time and a place. And it's appreciating that everything has benefits and drawbacks. And it's a very personal decision. So hopefully people are benefiting from listening to this. But basically, a customer-centric company is an example. We typically think customer-centric, oh wow, that's what we got to be. We have to be fucking customer-centric. But actually, true customer-centric companies, it's like Amazon. And the benefit is they fucking obliterated the competition because they were able to deliver more for the customer than
mm,
anyone else. But the drawback, which a lot of people don't see of customer centric, is that they shitted on all their employees in the pursuit of getting them.
mm,
They like the employees didn't get paid much. They had these
mm,
sweatshops or whatever. And then so I think enough about this
mm,
catch to know. Like I think
mm,
they were tracking people
mm,
in the warehouses and
mm,
tracking their time and their toilet breaks. So basically, they shitted on the company
mm,
to do right by the customer or do the best by the customer. So that's one side. The other side is company-centric. So, Kej, off the dome, do you know examples of company-centric companies?
No, it's I should be present, but I was trying to think of company-centric while you're talking about the client-centric, and
Yeah,
I actually, yeah, I was actually like, no, I wouldn't even be able to think of one
it's
off.
banks. Like banks is a good one. Banks
Right.
and investment banks specifically.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I understand, man. So company centric kind of don't give a fuck about the customer that much. They're about how can we do best for the company. So fuck this
Mm,
customer if we have to, and we will change our target market. We'll do whatever that gets us the most money to do well.
mm,
Right. And I believe for anyone listening, judgment is weakness to is my point. You don't have to agree with me, people
mm,
listening, but it's weak to judge one as better or worse than the other, even though traditionally in society, wow, the banks are evil, and whatever, and then the NGOs are good or
mm,
whatever. But when you really learn this stuff, you realize everything has benefits and drawbacks, and furthermore, when it comes to you investing your money, you will actually want probably kind of a company-centric company because you want to get the most money. So it's like, yeah, we don't realize how hypocritical sometimes we are.
mm,
So, but yeah, company-centric for people's context is companies that it's about the objective of the company, even if that means fucking off this customer, moving target market, whatever it takes to optimize the company. So, which is not a bad thing because the company could be trying to do good things in the world. So I would say Apple, in some ways, is a lot closer to being company centric, in some ways.
mm,
But the integrated point, which is not to say better, it's called mission centric. Mission centric is Elon Musk trying to get to Mars. And he's like, we'll work with whatever customers it takes, and we'll do whatever we need to company wise. But really, it's not about trying to profit our company, and it's not about trying to profit our customers as much as it is about the mission. Is we're trying to get to Mars here, boys. You know? And so it's like whatever helps us get to Mars. And that's quite a special level, because that means everybody have to be bought into the mission. And so that means sometimes people will self-sacrifice their salaries or their time or their lives for the mission.
mm.
And yeah, so those are the three types, man. And so where I would start from a values perspective is like, are you comfortable and able to speak about the company's objectives without judgment and anyone
Yeah.
listening? It's not about judging, right? Because there's a time and a place for all of it. I would love to hear, Kej, can you tell us about like what would you say is the company's objectives just from an honest sense? And then maybe we can think about the values from there.
Yeah, I think yeah, help me with this one because it's tricky because I'm like I feel 'cause when you explained the middle one, the mission one, I actually thought it was going somewhere else when you kind of said integrated between the two because like where we yeah, because we want to pretty much yeah do our best for our clients and get the best financial outcome for them, the investors and whatnot. But at the same time, we also are building a business that is to be profitable. We're not here to do it for free, we're getting paid for the value that we're providing. So when we're like when I'm saying we're both, like for example, we're not going to do it, at the start. And for example, at the start though, we were doing a lot of that. We were like a bit, we got told off by some mentors and whatnot, because doing a lot of free work or cheap work, friends and family, doing it for almost nothing, pretty much nothing by the end of it, just because we're two good people and we'll delay payments and okay, cool, don't worry, pay us later, do this and all that kind of stuff. But then obviously a bit of a realization like we're just kind of we can't really scale our business when we kind of have a cash flow problem because we're not getting paid or at all or the payments are
Yes.
delayed.
Yes.
So probably yeah, so as I'm talking it's coming to me, so probably would in that customer centric kind of bucket. But now kind of yeah, like now balancing that without going too, we're not just now we're not like we're just charging and milking and don't give a shit, like we're yeah, charging fairly for what we do, what we believe is fair value for what we do and the outcomes we do. So is there yeah, where does that fall?
So, see, the thing is, man, here's why this discussion is relevant.
Yeah.
Because at the lower levels, when you haven't scaled yet,
Yeah.
it's easier to kind of get away with the gray area
Sure.
because you kind of can just do that call to the person and save face or look after them or whatever.
Sure.
And but the thing is, as you get bigger, then you really get interfaced with the consequences of our decisions one way or the other. Where I think this discussion is going, my bro,
Yeah.
is its ownership of the hero and the villain. So what that means, man, is if we are infatuated with being the hero, this is not just for Kej, this is for everyone listening. I'm obviously explaining a little bit more than I need to because Kej knows this stuff, but
Mm.
yeah, hopefully this is beneficial for everyone listening. Like if we're infatuated with being the hero, even in a business sense, being the hero, number one, we don't realize that in order to be the hero, it means that we're kind of subtly labeling our customer or whoever as the victim. And we're actually disempowering them to find their own resourcefulness and stepping up to the plate also. Now, as I said, there's no right or wrong. It's just understanding each different play in the playbook so you can figure out what you want to do, right? But basically, if we're trying to be the fucking hero, then what the truth is, no one can just be the hero. The truth is, at some point, like in the beginning, for example, in this business, we were trying to be the hero by the customers, family, and friends, whatever. Yeah, don't worry, pay us later, or don't pay, or whatever. But then ultimately, it you realize you can't just be the hero. And then at a certain point, you may need to let someone down, and then that person who thought you was a hero, now you become the villain to that person because suddenly, this guy, I thought he was fucking helping me. Now he wants my money, you know? And so, Ked, you're smiling. Do you want to say something?
It hasn't really happened, but I think that's how I feel. I'm scared of becoming the villain. I guess that's probably the internal thing of like how I feel, even though I know these truths. And just quick tangent, will come back because even from where we sit in the business, so Manny and then me, so I'm at the moment predominantly in the back end, doing the finding the properties, doing the research, and doing that. And Manny's like doing on the front end strategy, and but that also involves the closing of the client and signing them up. And because I know when I get to closing, and it's interesting. Once again, a separate thing. You can write this down and we can come back to it later. But if I'm selling for somebody else's business, or even you, how I've got referrals for
Isn't
you in
that
the past,
funny? You're
yeah,
able to do it.
I can, bro. It's easy. But when it's myself, bro, in that I just feel there's whatever imposter syndrome or whatever it might be. Like it just like I hate it. I hate it. So but I'm so aware of that I that part of the process, man, you look after it because he doesn't have that. He somehow can do that really well, and we kind of at least we know that about each other while I work myself out, right? So, but yeah, that we can go down that path now. We can come back to that later, but yeah, that's
It's great, man. It's
yeah,
excellent,
yeah.
man. If people can listen to this discussion, holy crap! Like, this is like a fucking proper $1,000 plus coaching session. Like the concepts that we're covering here. Like, um, here's the thing. Let me explain it step by step. We start off really just trying to help motherfuckers. Well, let me just get you into a property. I'm going to help you become financially free. Don't worry, you're my boy, you're my friend. You don't have to pay shit, blah, 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 blah.
Hmm,
But the truth is, it's not sustainable,
hmm,
right? So, number one, at level one, let's call that level one, right? Where we're just trying to help cunts for nothing. The people that we're trying to help, they also like potentially are the wrong people if they are expecting to get something for nothing.
hmm,
Because that's some bullshit. Like that
hmm,
the world doesn't work like that. Because sometimes, FYI, even if they get that property for free from you, then as humans, it's not a personal thing, it's a human thing. Um, we will subconsciously kind of hope that they will return the favor in some other way. And if and even if we're like, nah, it's okay, I did it without, I just let it go and put it into the universe. If the universe doesn't return it, there's a part of us that feels bitter and resentful,
Mm.
and then we end up becoming more self-focused and aggressive, going, listen, the universe or this person or whomever didn't look after me, so then it becomes a little bit darker, and then it's like, look, cunts, I'm just going to look after myself, and then I'm gonna. And that's also, by the way, the swing between extroverted and introverted. It's like sometimes, and this is like deep shit that we're talking about. So hopefully it's not, confronting for whoever's listening. But like, that's actually why that swing can happen, because sometimes we would just give, 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 and I'm not trying to say anything's wrong. I don't give a fuck about right or wrong. I'm just trying to educate people on the different consequences, basically. That's all. Then they're empowered to make their own decision. But basically, and Kej, just interrupt me if this is not landing well or whatever, you can help.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah, basically what happens is that we always have to own the fact that we are not Superman, and we're a human, and we have to be humble and realize we're a human just like everyone else. And as a human, we need to eat and drink water just as much as everyone else does. And if we want to take the heroic route, which is don't worry about my food and water, I'm just going to look after your food and water, then what ends up happening, and then we can take the model of, well, I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to know that you're a helpless little cunt and you're not able to help me. That's okay. I'm going to leave you in your helplessness by not asking for a fair exchange. So we're actually, it can be argued we are disempowering them
Mm.
by not asking for a fair exchange. Now, having said that, if this is your 2-year-old daughter, it's you shouldn't be, it's probably unrealistic to ask for a fair exchange. And by the way, she's giving it to you because she's a bundle of joy, and we're in love, and so it's
Mm.
more than a fair exchange in a way, right? But if it's a grown ass person, we are disempowering them by not asking for a fair exchange, can be argued. And then what ends up happening is that at a certain point, we find our giving is not sustainable. And even if we don't end up getting resentful at those people, which usually is the case, we do to some degree, or we don't want to continue doing business with them because we're like, these cunts just will just take, take, take. At the very least, we end up just becoming introverted and looking after ourselves. And then during that introverted period, we are not helping anyone. So the other model, I'm not saying right or wrong, I don't care. As I said, I don't fucking care about that. The other model is win-win fair exchange. And furthermore, where it's like, hey, listen, I really want to do right by you, but at the same time, like we have to do right by the company too. So this is what we can do for you, and we're really trying to give you the best deal and help you become a fucking multimillionaire from these property deals, and we really mean that. But then in order to keep our fucking company going, so we can help other cunts just like you, this is your end of the bargain, and actually more sophisticated buyers would prefer that because it's in win-win fair exchange, which is better for the long term.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, I'll just say one quick more thing. Having said all this, I promise I really, really, really look, if everyone listening, like when I was 21, I went to Costa Rica and helped build an orphanage. And when I was 23, I built a kindergarten in Ubud, in Bali. And when I was 25, I built homes in Africa. And when I was 27, I built homes in Cambodia. So it's not that I don't. The truth, it's not about not doing charity. It's about not disempowering people, and it's about not disempowering yourself. It's just about making educated decisions. So I definitely went on a tangent, but hopefully a useful one.
Yeah.
Kej, do you want to give some
Yeah,
feedback? Or you want to say some stuff?
just to wrap up that tangent. So one final question on this, and we'll come back to the values.
Mm,
All right. So your business, my business. So for example, your business, you have someone struggling, they don't have the money, right? You really care for this person, but they obviously, yeah, but you really want to help them because whatever, and they just really need it,
mm,
right? Me, cool. Say similar situation, right? Can help them get ahead, but they don't have the financial situation to do that. But bro, they're like, whatever, want to help them for whatever reason that may be, right? and I know you've done it before, right? As well. So right. And so
Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, just what about that situation?
So, man, for example, part of my company values, you
Mm,
want to empower
mm,
people.
mm,
So I would start with that question first. Okay, this person in this situation, how do we empower them? How do we teach them to fish as opposed to just give them a fish,
mm,
you know? And so it's like, okay, I honestly would be like, potentially, look, here's the thing. If you want to go down this road of other companies and you can get cheaper properties or free properties or whatever, here's the drawbacks of it. This is
mm,
this is why you get what you're paying for here,
mm,
right? So we can't the thing is we want you to have the same treatment and service and priority as everyone else.
mm,
So if you want that, here's how much it costs, or here's a payment plan to help you out, and blah
mm,
blah blah blah.
mm,
But usually payment plans come with extra interest because they have to be accountable for,
mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so that's option one.
Mm,
Or for example, if you can help them in some other way, become more accessible without compromising your own thing, then that's really
mm,
wonderful. That's our job as entrepreneurs.
mm,
Or another thing is, man, you, given your circumstance, potentially you're not ready for the $20,000 property buy.
mm, mm,
But maybe this is the bridging option that we can give you, and this is what Alex Hormozy does, by the way. It's like
mm,
he helps you become rich enough to afford the next product.
mm.
So I don't know if that maybe that sounded very sweet conceptually, but not very practical. Do you want to say something back to
No,
that?
I think there's sense in that, man, and there's definitely sense in that. We've once again, I don't want to go down this path too much because that's come back to the comment, and we've kind of come up with some ideas internally, and we can do certain parts of the process for them, and the rest you can handle yourself and things like that, and charge a lower fee. And if that's what they want to do, is kind of where we kind of semi landed.
Mm.
Um, just very
People,
quickly,
just
yeah,
quickly, I'm so sorry, Hedge. Like
no,
people,
no, go for it.
I will say this from experience, people end up a lot more satisfied and are more likely to do return business when they feel like it was a fair exchange.
Mm,
What I have found is human nature. Because sometimes when someone feels like they got something for nothing, they feel guilty.
yeah,
And then they also don't want to leverage you anymore. Sometimes that's
mm,
what happens.
yeah,
And so sometimes just having that brave, truthful conversation up front, people like really appreciate it because then they
mm,
just know where everyone stands, just real
mm.
quick. You want to say, man?
No, that's good, man. I think I'm sure we could keep going on it. So I'm just gonna just yeah, do just a lot of
Haha.
good stuff that came out of it. But yeah, man, I really wanted more from a selfish reason, but I just want to get back to the values because that's kind of where this all started from. But that was good. It was a good tangent, and there's a lot out of that. So
So I would
um,
say from a values perspective, bro, unless we're going to say something on that.
no, that's it.
But what I was going to say was like, begin with the end in mind. So we got our word is our bond, extreme ownership, emotional mastery, scale the systems, and
Scale the
um,
systems, protect the connection.
protect the connection. Sorry, and I'm just trying to read my own handwriting.
Yeah, that's
What
right.
was the last one, man?
Quiet confident,
Quiet,
quiet confident.
quiet
Yeah.
confidence. Got it. Quiet confidence. I think there's a ball in. Um, I uh, I don't know what the objective is of the company based on these values, which is fine. Like, what's the objective of the company, man?
Oof, they're asking the big questions. So the objectives are, yeah, but oof, I don't probably say, yeah, probably something that needs a bit of work, but ultimately, yeah, like as in, yeah, we help people build wealth through property, as to help secure the future. There's obviously other ways they can do that, but we help with that specific thing. And I think it's just the way we go about it is the uniqueness. And I think that's what we want to kind of shine through the values. I don't know if that answers the question you're asking,
No,
but
it's really
that was
good.
that
Can
was the thinking behind it. Yeah.
can I say this, man? If
Yeah.
we help people build wealth through property, I think I'm pretty right in saying usually you're gonna need more than one property to become financially free. Would that be fair?
That's true, but you don't necessarily need 12 like everyone's preaching. You can probably do it with 4 or 5, So,
That's
but anyway,
gangster. That's
yeah,
gangster, right? Like,
yeah.
well, sign me up, number one.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
then and then
Yeah.
number two, um, bro, if we're gonna if they're going to need, let's say, 4 or 5 or even 3,
Sure.
in order for us to fulfill our mission of helping motherfuckers build wealth through property, then we need to be we need to be around in business to help them find that second and third and fourth and fifth
Of,
property,
of,
right?
of course. Correct.
What would be the drawbacks to them if you boys got, not, I shouldn't be boys anymore, if the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
team,
yeah.
if you guys got them into a property and then you guys went out of business, what would be the drawbacks to the customer?
No, it's pretty obvious, right? They now got to go figure it out themselves, or whoever, whatever. They got to find another way to do it, right? So, um, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
My suggestion is, obviously this is a bit of a different context to a coaching session, but my suggestion is, my bro, get emotionally connected to the consequences to the customer if you guys help them get into their first deal, right? Um, Especially if we do a lot for them and then they don't really have the education to know how to continue, which is most buyers and even most customers are signing up for that, right? So you guys are doing the mental and intellectual and all the heavy lifting. So I would, number one, get very emotionally connected to the drawbacks to the customer
Mm,
if they can't come to you
mm,
for the second, third, fourth, and fifth property, and really get emotionally connected to that. And when I think about that for my own business, man, and FYI, Dim's not perfect in any of this shit. I kind of made this mistake for like 5 years. Because I did not want to, because there's a lot of like coaches and therapy, like, because technically you make money from people having problems, and so it's like, well, I wanted to create a course that people didn't want to have to keep coming back to me for, and I thought that was the right thing to do. And I did that for fucking 5 years. But then what I realized over the years was a lot of the boys wanted to keep coming back to me, but because I didn't have a door open to them, they kind of felt like they got lost in the wild after that. And that did affect me emotionally because I feel like I did wrong by the people that came to me and trusted me, and it really led me to get over my own bullshit and go, no, I actually don't care what people say now. I have to have a continuity program, and I have to sell it and tell people, like, boys, like, there's a chance you can just get thrown back into the wild. I don't want that for you.
mm,
Please, like, I put this at a really low cost. Please, I encourage you to stay on with me so you can keep up the momentum and keep building on the foundation that we created. Clearly, it's making me emotional now, like saying it,
mm,
because I experienced, man, firsthand what
mm.
happened when I didn't have the continuity for them. So
Powerful.
yeah, you understand, right? So
Yeah.
then the question I offer, man, is like, well, what do we need to do for sure to make sure that we want to keep working with these people and that we can?
Mm.
And presumably what that would lead you to do is think about how the exchange is sustainable. Yeah. And yeah, how the exchange is sustainable.
Yeah, man, powerful. Yeah, and no, definitely great hit. And then just I wouldn't be able to have worded it the same way you just worded it, but definitely as in aware enough. Hence why until I work on myself to do that better, I've delegated, not delegated. Manny, my business partner, he's looking after that, that side of the business because he's got that down pat. He's like, he can see that very clear. It's not only see it, but he can embody that, and he's like, he's got it, and like, and yeah, I really don't know why it's just there's some yeah, I don't know what it is, but there's something something in me that blocks me somewhere, but I need to figure out what that is. But it's a
That's gorgeous.
conversation for another time. Yeah.
That's gorgeous, man.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, yeah, so why I went on that point, my bro, is
Yeah.
because from a values perspective, um, I I would I would have something somewhere which anchors the values to the objective, which is that beautiful mission statement that you guys said, and I would personally have some kind of value in here that protects all parties and does right by all parties. Is
Mm.
personally my humble feedback. And that doesn't mean you have to redo your shit. Like you
Yeah.
potentially could just, it could be fitting under the definitions potentially, right? But like,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
see, our word is our bond. Like, look, who could argue with that? That's dope. Extreme ownership is dope. Emotional mastery, scale the systems, protect the connection. And maybe it fits under protect the connection, and then quiet confidence. So,
Mm.
man, in terms of emotional mastery, um, I, 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 were you gonna ask a question on that? I have, yeah, we can talk about it if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it's very super important that these aren't just words on a wall, or words that are just there. Like this is stuff that there was a lot of thought that went into it, and it's like we want to embody, like it's about embodying it, being it, like and it's clients, or not only clients, right? Internal team clients, everyone they should just feel it when they work with us that this is just kind of who we are, and yeah, just I guess the emotional mastery part. Yeah, I just don't want that to be because that is it's such a it's two words, but it's such a big thing, right? And that comes from like as we get bigger, which is already happening now, and it's like egos can creep in, that's one part of it, and then there's like acting impulsively or like you're feeling the pressure because I don't know you haven't closed enough deals, so you try and push a shit property onto someone, and like all those kinds of things that yeah, you can see it happening other places, and it's just like having the composure, not act impulsively, all those things to, I guess, stay centered. It's such a big thing, it's very easy to say, but and
It's
then
massive.
yeah, go, yeah.
No. You gonna say?
I was gonna say just one other thing we just see in other buyers agencies because like and I'm also thinking about how to reward people because like
Yes.
everyone's paid on volume, right?
Yeah.
So buyer's agent, they kind of paid cool. They're paid when they find a property, sell the property, whatever, that's when they get paid. So if not done right, very easy to peddle a shit property to someone and get paid and move on, right? So obviously it's not going to last forever if you're going to do that, but I don't want that happening to one of my clients, right? So it's even if someone's going to do it and move on, that's in that process, that could be 5 to 10 clients or more that somehow creep through the cracks. Once again, I think I went on a tangent, but I guess, yeah, but all of that kind of links back to that emotional mastery piece. If you don't have that, these things can happen. But also, I guess I don't want to be naive enough and think that I can instill that in everybody. So I also want to protect it through some systems, as well, whether that be financial or whatever that may be, right? So yeah.
I think we're on the same page, man. Like I think that emotional mastery, that specific word, like it's almost not instructive enough to give people it's so vast
Mm,
that it doesn't ironically it lacks the masculine side of
mm,
locking them in a little bit. So some words that you said that I thought were dope that help people like know what good looks like
mm,
is like you said composure, you said centeredness, one that I thought of is empathy. So because composure, centeredness, and empathy require emotional mastery. So it's not like you're ridding yourself of that value. It's just that you're giving people an understanding of how they're supposed to be being.
mm,
And my version of that in our company is uh, there's the spiritual experience and the human experience. We make room for both. So basically, but my people understand what that means in that we have to, we're anchored because how emotional mastery happens, man, it's from which but I'm saying for the
mm,
sake of people listening, like it's there's a masculine and feminine component which comprise emotional mastery. The masculine component is direction. It's the king energy. There's a, for everyone listening, there's a warrior, a lover, a magician, and a king. So the masculine piece is the king energy, which is the long-term vision, and long-term vision implies direction. And I'll make this specific to Kej's property stuff in a moment, but it's like long-term vision implies direction. Direction actually also implies boundaries. And then ultimately boils down to strategy. So from a property perspective, long-term vision would look like, well, look, Kant, like you told us that you want to have $20 million in the next 10 years, and that's going to require you to buy two properties a year and it's going to require you to show this on your tax return, and it's going to require, yeah, blah 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 blah, blah, right? And require for you to present these deposits. So that's the long-term vision. But if you just have the masculine side without the feminine side, you become a bit of a douchebag, right? So then the feminine side is like the empathy and the understanding and the ability to really like connect with this person, and then potentially even adjust things if required, if because there's just like a line, where it just becomes cruel, if you keep doing something, right? And that's the feminine side. And obviously, I mentioned warrior, lover, magician, king. So the king is the vision, the warrior is the side that goes, you know what, no, I'm not being disciplined enough, I've just got to focus, I got to lock in. The lover is kind of the magician side, the feminine side that I just mentioned, where it's just connected and empathetic and understanding, because wisdom comes from that. And then the magician is the creative part, which you and Manny, like knowing you guys personally, have the magician in like spades. I reckon the magician in you is like one of the big reasons why you guys are so successful. Is because you
Mm,
guys are so fucking creative
mm,
in figuring out angles that other
mm,
people wouldn't think about.
mm,
So man, what I would say, my humble feedback from the extra for the emotional mastery piece is just thinking how what words can we use to make it more practical for the people that need to implement it. And my
mm,
suggestion is have something that implies the masculine side, which is like not forgetting the long-term vision that they wanted,
mhm.
but then also having calibration and empathy to the present moment. That's the duality there.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%. I think I'm processing as I'm listening. So
Of
yeah, no.
course, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry,
for
I
sure.
said a lot of
Yeah.
things, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. No,
I'm not
and
trying to tell
definitely,
you, I love you so much, man. You know me, man. I'm not trying to
yeah,
tell you what to do. A big reason I even went on that rant was for other people like listening. I
of
think you know that about
of
me.
course,
Yeah.
of course, no, but bro, your advice is always welcome anyway, regardless, man. There's a lot of you probably I know I say this and you probably don't even fully understand. A lot of man, even all these values and something, all of this, a lot of what I'm doing in life has stemmed from all the work I've done with you, man. It's like it's just paying me back in it's paying me back in spades, and now, yeah, and just yeah. So, man, you probably don't realize you're almost apologizing for talking to me, but bro, I want more of it, you know. So.
Love you, bro. Good.
Oh God. Yeah, and yeah, man. One thing we touched on briefly, and obviously I know it's fine by you, but once again, you, for the sake of the audience, can share. And obviously, I mentioned my team at the moment for four females, two guys. Or obviously mentioned, you potentially talking about you coming on and doing a few guest sessions and things like that, and and obviously raise the fact obviously you're a men's coach and things like that. But yeah, in terms of in that environment, working females and males in this kind of thing, how do you feel about that? Something
Yeah,
you're open to?
of course it's all good, man. You're so sweet, bro. Like, no, we actually have female clients, man. The
Yeah.
men's coach thing is just, it's just, look, you know this from business as well, bro. It's just like it helps you with marketing and specialization. It really helps you become like one of the best, so I'm very transparent. Of course, we are focusing on men, we're specialized in men, we're nuanced men, but why the only two employees in my team are both female is because ultimately it's about integration. So no, so actually the truth is I don't give a fuck if someone's male or female. For me, the truth about who I am is like it's about, as a coach, your job is not to mentor. Mentoring is helping people be like you, which is not sustainable because they should be like them. So good coaching is helping someone understand, number one, what their actual values are and what their goals are, and then helping them achieve their goals. Like that's good coaching. So like I would have the best time in the world with you guys.
Yeah. Oh, nice, man. Oh,
What a chat, bro. What a
that
chat,
was
bro. Friday
big.
night, we hit me with the guns, bro.
Yeah. That's P. What else you got?
Oh man, I've just I really worked hard this week, bro. I really worked
I
hard.
know, bro. I feel you, man. I feel you.
Man, one thing I'm proud of, maybe I don't know if you want to answer this question, but
Yeah.
for for myself, one thing I'm really proud of, man, is that every day this week, I think, and this is a good share for people listening, like, um, man, what helps take anything to the next level? I shouldn't say anything. What helps takes a lot of things to the next level is fucking tracking things, tracking things, you know, and just measuring and monitoring. And so, for example, one really cheap thing that you can do, very easy for people listening, is just like voice note into ChatGPT at the end of the day, and just share about things that went well. Just share, just like it's like a journal. Just share what went well, what bothered you, or you don't have to answer all these questions. Like, what are you grateful for? What bothered you? What do you want to improve? What do you want to focus on tomorrow? Something as simple as that. When you actually start to get data down, it gives you the opportunity to see things from a bigger picture and start to see trends and patterns. And when you see them, you can make the little adjustments that genuinely do lift you up through life. And so what I would say is I mean, one of those things I realized was one thing that does make me feel kind of shit is when I wake up, and this is something that doesn't sound like new, it's not, it's old news, is waking up and it's tempting to look at WhatsApp or Instagram. And I'm like, what makes me genuinely feel good is discipline. The discipline to wake up and not check those things and instead meditate straight away and then read my book straight away. And and yeah, man, like I'm just being real, like doing that every day this morning where I'm like, I literally, the thought that was in my head is, it actually feels better to be disciplined. I will feel better. And so I just I literally like get my phone and I put on the meditation track and then I sit there and I meditate. And then instead of going onto WhatsApp or Instagram, like I literally just like read. And it's
Mm.
made me feel better, man. So I promise, I don't know, Kej, like, I'm working really hard, man. I've just been doing um meta ads,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of paid ads,
Yeah.
a lot of outreach, so sales and marketing. Um yeah, and then just like a lot of like measuring things, bro. That's the truth about me this week.
Good
Yeah.
man. And obviously not about the outcome, but how's any early measures of success, leading indicators from what you're measuring, or just or too early to tell?
It's probably too early to tell for me,
Yeah.
man, but
Yeah.
uh yeah, one thing I have just for sure noticed, man, is that the more and more energy I've put in to the outreach to, your version of this would have been like door knocking or whatever, right? Like my to putting into my version of door knocking, even if it didn't come around with those people, it seemed to always come around. So like for that reason, I think I'm pretty fearless um I'm grateful for the opportunity to just reach out and
Mm.
do the work out there that does come back around. That's the truth, bro. That's the truth about how I am. And yeah. Woo.
Awesome, bro. All right, man. I think that's we both need to get some rest and recovery. So that's I'm happy to call it for today. Lots of good stuff.
How did you find the chat today, man?
No, really good, man. It's just I'm listening at the same time holding back. There's like so many so many more things that spin off all of this. It's like I'm still trying to find it hard to find the balance of like just talking less, listening, but at the same time, how do I bring these things in at the right time? And then so it's good. There's just there's so much value, you know?
How good, man. Oh, I
Yeah.
feel like I spoke a lot today. So I think the mic's going to be a lot more on you next week.
Yeah, it's probably my fault because I want it, so I'm probably asking questions and I'm just like I'm probably giving you the mic, so it's just naturally the just naturally the way things are going. But yeah, man, we can get into, yeah, I guess for me, some of the more technical things we can probably talk about next time or the time after in
For
terms of
sure.
what it comes to what I do. And I'm also kind of like, as I'm talking about this, I'm kind of, because I'm pretty open and transparent about what we're building and what we're doing. And it might, as naturally, people are going to hear the journey of both of our businesses, I guess, how they're growing, what we're doing. And I think a lot of people will appreciate, as in, for me, I've done various things, but in this particular business, relatively early in that journey and taking it from where it is and where it's going to go. And I think, yeah, hopefully people will get value out of hearing that. Not a lot of people kind of open the doors behind what's actually happening. So I think that might be nice for listeners too. And
100%.
yeah, so yeah, man, that's so yeah, we can do that.
That sounds great. Well, yeah, for everyone listening, then it does sound like Kej and I will be wrapping up for today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of shutting down halfway through my what I was saying. So yeah, I'm done for the day. Yeah.
How good. Well, I definitely hope that everyone listening got a lot of value out of today. I really do. And I think this is the first time I'm saying it on one of the episodes, but if you did get value, please do share it with someone, because there's enough wealth to go around for everyone. So please share it. And it's actually funner when you have friends like Kej, like for me, I have friends like Kej that you get to share the new levels that you go up with. It's we're stronger together. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And we will see you next week.